Today, we're diving into one of the most incredible, most mysterious artifacts ever pulled from the bottom of the sea, the Antikythera mechanism. It's a discovery that basically forces us to rethink what was possible in the ancient world.
So, let me just start with this one question. What if the world's very first computer wasn't made of silicon, but of bronze? And what if it was lost in a shipwreck lying on the ocean floor for 2,000 years? Well, this isn't some sci-fi movie plot. It's a true story.
And our story begins, like so many great adventure stories do, with a violent storm and a lucky find at the bottom of the ocean.
Okay, so picture this. It's the year 1900. A team of Greek sponge divers gets caught in a storm and takes shelter near the island of Antikythera. While they're waiting, they explore the seabed and stumble upon an ancient shipwreck. They bring up all sorts of treasures, beautiful statues, coins, pottery, and this one weird, corroded lump of bronze. Honestly, it was so ugly and unrecognizable, it was basically ignored for years, just dismissed as a worthless piece of junk.
But eventually, someone took a second look, and what they found inside that lump of corroded metal, well, it started to unravel a secret that had been hidden for 2 millennia.
And this is really the moment everything changed. On the left, you see what everyone saw at first, basically a green rock from the sea. But on the right, that's what scientists saw when they looked closer. You can see these tiny, intricate gear teeth. You can see perfectly drawn circles. And incredibly, they found faint inscriptions written in ancient Greek. This was no rock. This was a machine.
So you can imagine the question on everyone's mind. What in the world was this thing? A box full of gears? From ancient Greece? What were they possibly calculating that needed a device this complex? The answer, it turns out, was literally out of this world.
After decades, and I mean decades, of study, using everything from advanced X-rays to CT scans, researchers finally pieced the puzzle together, and their conclusion was absolutely staggering.
It turns out the Antikythera mechanism was an ancient analog computer. Yep, you heard that right. A highly sophisticated gear-operated machine designed for one main purpose, to predict the movements of the sun, the moon, and the planets.
And the things this computer could do were just mind-blowing. It could calculate the position of the sun and the moon for any given date. It tracked the paths of the 5 planets you can see without a telescope. It could even predict solar and lunar eclipses right down to the hour. This wasn't just some fancy calendar. This was serious astronomical computation.
Okay, so now that we know what it is, the next big question is how? How on earth did this incredible piece of ancient engineering actually work?
At its heart was this beautiful, complex system of about 30 interlocking bronze gears, each one handcrafted to fit and work together perfectly.
Now, don't go picturing some giant machine. This whole thing was about the size of a modern shoebox. We know it was kept safe inside a wooden case. To make it work, you just turned a hand crank on the side, and all the information was displayed on a big circular face, kind of like a very, very complicated clock.
The way it operated was just pure genius. So you'd turn the crank, and that would set all those 30-some gears into motion. But here's the brilliant part. Each gear was designed to spin at a very specific, carefully calculated rate that matched the movement of a planet or the moon. As the gears turned, they moved 7 different pointers on the front dial.
And what were those 7 pointers for? Well, they tracked the heavens. There was one for the sun, one for the moon, and then one for each of the 5 planets they knew about: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. You could turn the crank to a date in the future and literally watch a map of the cosmos unfold before your eyes.
And if you think that's cool, get this. The machine came with its own built-in user manual. The creators actually inscribed instructions all over the casing. It explained how to use the dials, and it even had a zodiac display showing the path of the planets. It was a completely self-contained guide to the universe.
So, let's just pull back for a second and appreciate how significant this is. This device isn't just a clever gadget. It's what historians call an anomaly, something that just doesn't fit the timeline, something that, by all accounts, really shouldn't exist.
And here's the single most staggering fact of all. The mechanical engineering packed into this little box was more than 1,000 years ahead of its time. Seriously, nothing even close to this level of complexity shows up again until the massive astronomical clocks built in 14th century Europe. This thing doesn't just add a new chapter to history, it forces us to rewrite the whole book.
Which, of course, leaves us with one last, kind of haunting question.
The Antikythera mechanism was found by pure dumb luck. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? If this one incredible object survived against all odds, what else was built back then? What other marvels of science and engineering are still out there, just lost to time?